Hey Rachel, it's time for some real talk again. Are you ready?
Can you wait till I sit down before you start?
We saw Demetrius Andrade and Walter Kautondokwa. I don't know how to say his name. I tried to. Kautondokwa.
I can confirm that
Kautondokwa.
Kelsey has been sitting here trying to learn how to pronounce his name.
Walter Kautondokwa.
I saw it on Twitter. I just spelled it like K-A and then a whole bunch of letters.
Walter Kautondokwa. 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 Anyway, I wanted to get the guy's name right because
But hey, you have a really unique name, and that's pretty neat.
So Walter Kautondokwa fought Demetrius Andrade for the vacant WBO middleweight title. Okay. Andrade was a huge favorite, rightfully so. Kautondokwa had never fought outside of his home country, somewhere in Africa, and he's 33 years old. And clearly, once the fight started, he was at a huge skill deficit against Andrade, who's one of the more skilled fighters in boxing today. Hi, Luke.
Gosh, our dogs are noisy.
Hi.
Hey, what are you doing?
So listen, first of all, what do you think about Andrade's performance, Rachel?
Okay, so the first part of the fight was, he had some knockdowns, scored some knockdowns. So the first part of the fight was kind of exciting, in part due to Andrade, in part due to maybe the referee missing
Steve Willis.
Calls. So calling the first thing a knockdown when really if anybody wanted to, he could have disqualified.
He tripped and then he hit him when he was down.
Yeah. So and then there was something later on too. I forgot what the referee did, but it was like again where it was like, well, it was the double knockdown. So they both both were knocked down, but only
Kautondokwa
got called for got the count.
Yeah.
And so and then the fight just went on, and it all 12 rounds, and I remember just not paying attention a whole lot the rest of the fight.
Well, Andrade is kind of boring to watch because he's boring but effective in that he fights. He's got a lot of talent and skill and natural ability. And he fights just good enough to win. And that doesn't draw interest. Mm-hmm. But as he moves up and fights, hopefully, better opponents, which he should have fought already by now, but that's another story. Andrade we'd be able to see what kind of fighter he really is. I'm interested to see him against, say, a Canelo Alvarez. I'd like to see him fight Gennady Golovkin. I'd like to see him fight any other good middleweight, Danny Jacobs, right? Yeah. These would be good fights. I'm not sold on Andrade as an elite level talent. I think that he is just below that.
Yeah.
So think
he'd have to prove himself, right?
Julian Williams or somebody like that, J-Rock, somebody like that, right? Good fighter. I don't think good enough, really. I'm not sure Demetrius Andrade would have beaten Billy Joe Saunders, who he was supposed to fight in this bout for the WBO title. But Saunders was stripped of the title after he tested positive for a banned substance. Right. He claims it's from some nasal spray. The story makes sense if you look into the details behind that. I don't really care about that. I want to see the fight. I wish they could have fought anyway. Maybe just don't let him fight for the title. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know the solution to that. But definitely want to see Andrade, who I love him because he's a southpaw. Love him because he's American. Love him because he looks really good. Like, I'd like to see him in bigger fights. Yeah. If you remember, he was supposed to fight Jermell Charlo 3 years ago.
Right.
That was the big fight for Jermell's first really big fight, and Demetrius pulled out of that fight because they were paying Charlo so much more money than him.
Oh,
he didn't like that.
That's right.
So there's a story out there going on as if Andrade is like somehow kind of like Deontay Wilder.
Overlooked and not getting fights.
Yeah, but hey, you had that fight and you didn't take it. I don't know. That would have been a good fight. I remember being worried about it as like a Charlo, as a Lions only person. For Jermell, I wasn't sure. I thought Jermell would win, but that's a close fight. They're both talented. I think now I favor Charlo in that fight. Either Charlo brother against Andrade.
Yeah.
But it's only because I've seen them do more.
Right.